Hey and welcome back. Welcome back to the Academy of Witchwood. I'm Guilford. I'm standing around here in my small starter house, and I think it's time that we do something about this storage situation. So, I do have a bunch of chests. I do have them sorted, I do have them upgraded, sometimes with deck upgrades, so that I can fit a lot more into those and fit a lot more items, as you can see. But overall, I would like to have a unified crafting interface where I can just pull items out of all of these chests and utilize them as I need. So, I think this is one part of today's journey. Other than that, I have a small issue that I need to, well, get rid of, which has to do with the nice damage type of poison. And I really need to get into more sugarcane, because I need more paper. I do have not enough paper by far, so I will have to take care of that. One thing after the other, let's start with the topic of storage so I can clean up a little bit. To get storage going, I want to again use Ars Nouveau. And there is a block called the storage lectern. This one. As we have the enchanting apparatus set up, it's just a lectern surrounded by any 4 chests, and we do have ourselves a storage lectern, which is really easy. And with that, we can go ahead and just create a storage lectern. Easy as that. And I just realized it's raining. Oh no, it's still snowing. Okay, I thought winter was over, but we do still have winter. Okay. So, the storage lectern is a very nice block. You can see I can just place it in the world, and it says 0 connected inventories and 0 bookworms. So if I open this, I can see there is nothing inside. I do have a search bar, I can sort, I can do synchronized search with my EMI, but that doesn't help me if I don't have any inventories connected. So I think we need some bookworms. To get a bookworm, we need bookworm charms. And you can see here, obtained by augmenting a ritual of awakening with book and quills. Nothing else is there, so we need a ritual of awakening. This is this one. And we need just some flourishing archwood, all different kinds of saplings, and a few source gems to get one of those. And that should be quite easy. And here we have 3 tablets of awakening. With that we have 3 tablets of awakening. I will definitely need more of those, but 3 is a good start, I think. So for that we will also use our ritual brazier, and we need some book and quills. So some feathers, I think I have some ink sacs left, perfect, and some books. Or I ignore all of that and take the 1 book and quill that I already have. How does it work? Put down the ritual brazier, wait until it appears, put in a tablet of awakening and throw in a book and quill. Now it has consumed the book and quill, and if we start the ritual now, we will get a bookworm charm. Nice. So, We don't need this ritual brazier for the moment. If we right-click the bookworm charm onto our storage lectern, we can see a little bookworm spawning in. Hello, little one. You're a little hard to see when you're within the lectern. Now we just need to tell this little guy that he needs to connect this lectern with these storages over here. Every bookworm that you have can connect up to 8 inventories. I fear that I have more than 8 inventories here. So what we can do is instead use a storage controller. Storage controller will connect all the inventories from sophisticated storage that it connects to. So we just need to place one on any end and it will connect all of these. And yeah, it's not that expensive to craft. Some redstone comparators, any kind of sophisticated storage, stones and planks. So let me get this together and we'll get ourselves a storage controller. I'll just get my backpack somewhere else, put the storage controller in here, and you can see there's already things connected to that. But we can't access this one directly as it's just a controller. But we now can tell our little bookworm that this is the place to go. And for that we need one more item, which is a Dominion wand. Dominion wands can be crafted with a stick, 2 source gems and a gold ingot inside of our enchanting apparatus. So let's go ahead and do exactly that. 1 gold, 2 source gems and a stick. And here we go. If we shift right click on the controller and right click on our storage lectern, this will be connected. All items from all upgraded chests in here, and now this should be but this one will now appear in our storage lectern and we have access to all of them. With that, the topic of storage is out of the way because I can now just go in here and use J to craft whatever I want if the items are available. I do, for example, have quite a bit of source gems down here. I can also just throw them in here. And if I wanted another tablet of awakening, I can now just pull this out of here. We do have storage. What we don't have yet is a name for our Vixie familiar. I don't really know if I can rename it, but maybe. So if you have any suggestions, put them down in the comments. How should this little one be called? And while on the topic of Vixies and potions, in between episodes I actually unlocked a new trait in my Infinity Ham, which is Marinate. Marinate allows me to put whatever potion that I want on the Infinity Ham, and per hunger point that is restored, I will apply 2.6 seconds of buff effect to myself. So this is amazing for potions that are maybe a little bit more expensive. Currently I have mana regeneration 2 on that, which is okay. But I remembered that I do have a potion in here, if I find it, which is a lingering potion of ancient knowledge 4. So let me check if I can apply this to my ham. I cannot. It needs to be a normal potion. Okay. But I think ancient knowledge would be a great effect on my Infinity Ham, because most of the time when I need to eat is when I am engaged in some way or form in combat. Don't you agree? And ancient knowledge will increase the EXP I gain by up to 16 times, which is quite a lot. On the note of combat, I did change a bit what my spells does. And I created a new harm spell, which is now still a projectile, but it has harm and extended time, so it applies poison. It has envenom, which, if the target is already poisoned, the poison will become a more deadly venom, which is very nice, which I amplified to deal even more damage. And then I have poison spores, which create an AoE around the enemy if it is poisoned. And I have AoE additional here and another amplify to really deal a lot of damage around any target. Or not exactly any target, because if I quickly go out and find myself an enemy, chances are high that this enemy will be flat out immune to what I do. Because zombies, skeleton, spiders, they're all immune to poison, which is really, really annoying. So, phantoms too, by the way. I can't do anything against phantoms with this spell. But this is not going to be the end of everything, because what I can do is I can get myself a spell focus. And the spell focus that I need is the focus of, not the focus of debug, but the focus of earth. This will, for one, gives me amplify and discount for the elemental earth school effects and mana regeneration under the ground, but it will also empower some glyphs with new effects, which include I can damage enemies with poison that are immune to poison. The focus of earth is created with the lesser focus of earth and a mark of mastery. And to be honest, the lesser focus of earth is perfectly fine for what I need to do, because it also has the empowers effect already, and this is totally in the area that I can get myself. So I need an imbuement chamber surrounded with 6 pedestals, an amethyst shard, 3 earth essence and a few gold, and this I totally have. Let me quickly steal the imbuement chamber from up here. And I will just place it where the arcane core was, so I have enough pedestals around. 3 gold, 3 earth essence, and an amethyst shard. Now, this will take the sauce that we have, you can see it here, and it will speed up the production, and you can see all the sauce that we already had is going away. So let me actually break this before we lose the last 6%. And this will go on for a moment and collect the thought passively. And here we do have the lesser focus of earth, which goes right into our spell focus slot and will increase the options that I have, especially regarding poison. And as you can see, the ice is melting, so it seems it will be spring soon, or it is spring now, and it's thawing away So all of the snow will probably disappear as well. Which is not too bad, as I'm planning to build a lot more in the near future, and building in snow is always a hassle. So I'm not too angry about this. It will get winter again. Now I think it's time to take a look at the topic of paper. There's two ways we can produce paper in large quantities. One is sugarcane and one is tree bark. I'm not planning to go into mass production of logs in any way or form, so let's go for sugarcane. And I'm going to build a small tree house for my sugarcane, similar to this one, somewhere up here. And I'm going to automate the production of sugarcane in a way that, well, gives me a lot of results in quite a fast fashion. So let me clear up a little bit of space, build a little greenhouse, whatever it will be looking like, and I'll be right back and show you what I intend to do. And the second greenhouse is completed. Currently it's pretty empty, and as you can see it is actually aligned, so not moved like this one, because I do need the space in here to get things done. My plan is to grow sugarcane in a rapid fashion. To do that, I need to, well, plant some sugarcane, and I do need some way to harvest that sugarcane. So my idea is the following. Here, back to this wall, we will plant some sugarcane on something called snet. Snet is, if I just search for it, snet is just two sand combined and will give you a snet. Snet is very useful to grow things faster. So let's get 4 snet and let's just, do I need space behind that? No, I don't think so. I can just put the snet in here, get myself some sugarcane. I do have some growing over here. I don't need that anymore. And obviously I need some water to actually plant the sugarcane. Let's put the water behind here. Just for the moment, I will change the setup in just a bit. And if I place sugarcane on that, you can see it grows in quite a good speed. But that's not all that I want, because snet is giving growth ticks to sugarcane and cactus from time to time. It does definitely grow a lot faster than on normal sand, but if given a redstone signal, this actually forces a growth tick. So for every redstone tick that the snet gets, I will get a new sugarcane. So let's build this back, and I will gather a few things that we need to really speed this up. And here we have the solution to my issues. I actually had to try a few things to get this to work, but in the end, we have our automatic sugarcane harvesting up here, it's very much the vanilla method, so an observer detects if the sugarcane has grown that high. If yes, it triggers these pistons to break the sugarcane on the second level. Below that we have our snet, and below the snet I have some redstone clocks. These clocks will send, at the current settings, a redstone tick every 15 ticks, so every 3/4 of a second, and will force a growth tick on the snet. And behind that we have the water, so the sugarcane can actually grow on that. I totally forgot to get a limestone to put this in here, but let's quickly go over the rest. We do have an agronomic source link here, which produces mana based on growth. So whenever the sugarcane behind that grows, it will start creating source, put that source into that source jar, and I do have a timer spell turret here, which will every 5 seconds cast a spell in front, which is touch, item pickup with 2x AoE. And what this does is, well, it picks up all the items that are on the ground and puts them into this oak drawer, which can by default hold 2000 items, which is very nice, but I can very easily upgrade this to hold thousands over thousands of items. And I can also put in a void upgrade, which then, well, just voids everything that gets into this. So let's see it in action. I can just plant my sugarcane here, and you can see it starts harvesting instantly. And every few seconds, this one will pick up everything that's on the ground. And you can see every 5 seconds we produce like 20-ish sugarcane, and we are filling up the source jar on the side, which is quite nice. So, with this, we have unlimited sugarcane. I will decorate the rest of this greenhouse a little bit, and I think we're good to go on that. After just a few minutes, we have a bunch of sugarcane, nearly 2000 already. I upgraded the oak drawer with a void upgrade and a copper upgrade so that we can store more and don't have an overflow. But this will just collect sugarcane without end. And as you can see, the source jar is also 100% full, so we can use the source here for something else. Opposite to my potion attempts last episode, this is a lot easier in source production, but I don't want to continue just with, I would nearly call this a cheat farm, for all my source needs. Now that we have all the sugarcane, we can create paper without end, and with that paper we can create empty maps for our atlas. But to do that, we also need either slime balls or honey bottles in a sizable amount, both of which I don't currently have. I do have a few slime balls, but I think nearly none left, and honey bottles, I think I have one. So in the future, we will take a look at getting probably the honey automated, because I just like bees to a certain degree. With that, I do have my automatic paper, or at least sugarcane. I created the lesser focus of earth, so I can actually fight with my new poison spells. The ice is slowly melting away. My leg spikes that were quite heavily at the beginning are going away as well, which is nice. And with that, let's take a look what comes after that. In the quest books, I did go into Technomancy for the spell turrets and the timer spell turrets here. There's nothing much going on. For the alchemy, craft every single potion is a long-term goal. I'm not going into that because currently that's a lot of manual effort. I don't really want to go that way. Automate potions will probably happen before that, because I do want to have my source generation really relying on potions. I want to have a Vixie factory creating all kinds of cool stuff. I think that's also a thing I really need to have as an alchemist. I don't see why not. Here the second task is build a magical tower. As someone coming not from the Middle Ages, but more from a slightly more modern time. I mean, I built some greenhouses. Those didn't exist in the Middle Ages either. I'm thinking of what type of tower to create. Maybe a lighthouse. Maybe. I'm not sure yet. If you have any suggestions, go ahead, put them into the comments. I will definitely use this as a center point for my base. And I thought about a lighthouse because, well, I am at the coast here. I'm not really seeing a need to move somewhere else. And if I quickly go up a little bit, there's a small island over there, which would be perfect for a lighthouse of sorts. Or even up here. I mean, this is near the ocean. It could take a lighthouse. Why not? Other than that, an EXP fountain would probably be quite neat as well, but I need to get my hands on some way to spawn mobs for that. And a max level beacon, we'll get to that later. And with this, a magical tree. Build or create a big magical tree. I don't know about many magical trees in the overworld which are really interesting. I mean, other than some archwood or an aurum tree maybe. There's not that much that really catches my eye. But if we take a look at other dimensions, like the Twilight Forest, that looks a whole lot different. So, what do you say? Next episode, a magical tower? Or diving into the Twilight Forest? I'm very curious what you say. Do you like the new farm? Or is it too cheaty in your eyes? And I'm going to, at some point, have a greenhouse for every type of archwood. I think those look quite amazing, and I like the style of these greenhouses. So why not? I very much hope that you enjoyed this episode while I'm standing in the rain with my umbrella. Let's go from here and probably take this coast where we are and make it a really, really cozy home. Until then, oh my god, this doesn't look right. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, have a great evening, wherever it is in the world you're watching from. My name is Guilford, I'm signing off. See you next time.